The islanders are quick in their sensibilities, easily excited, and easily depressed. With this, the climate has much to do, operating as it does powerfully upon the nervous system. Causes include the nature of sea life, which carries the men far away from their homes and exposes them to great hazards, thus depriving their families of their counsel and encouragement, and keeping these in a continued state of anxiety, and hence they are more liable to turns of excitement and depression than the dwellers upon the continent. So wrote Samuel Adams Devens about Martha's Vineyard in 1838. A little more than 100 years later, New York psychiatrist Milton Mazer came to the island, saw what Devens had seen and more, and decided in 1961 to set up the Vineyard's first mental health center. This idea spawned Martha's Vineyard Community Services. 15 years later, Dr. Mazer spelled out some of his findings about island behavior in the book People and Predicaments, which opens with the Devens quote. As the steamships and ferries provide a lifeline for the island, so does community services. From daycare to healthcare to psychological care, all that it offers is vital to the Vineyard's equilibrium.
In 1961, the population of the Vineyard year-round was barely 6,000. Today, the population, depending on who you talk to, is somewhere around 15,000, and we now serve annually at community services over 6,000 people. So that means that 50 years later, that the need has grown and the agency has grown to the point that we're now serving what is more than the original population when it started.
Imagine if we have to close our doors and the lights go out. Where would you go? Where would our neighbors go? We are the third largest employer on the island. We're always there. It is our mission. Nobody gets turned away.
Some things are slow to change on this island. Some things stay the same, like human needs. More than 100 staff members at Community Services, plus up to 250 volunteers devote themselves to these needs.
The staff at Community Services are in my experience, are some of the best staff I've worked with in my entire career. And I'm truly fortunate to be surrounded by such great people.
Located across from the high school on the Vineyard Haven Edgartown Road, Community Services is the tangible proof of the Vineyard's reputation for true compassion. Its doors have opened and welcomed everyone, providing safety, security, comfort, treatment, answers. It does this 24/7 through 5 core programs. The Island Counseling Center provides mental health and substance abuse counseling, medication evaluation, and 24-hour crisis intervention services. Among the groups served by this program are military veterans. After 2 tours of duty in Iraq, Jared Meter returned to Vineyard Haven and his family. Unfortunately, the Iraq experience came with him. Post-traumatic stress disorder and depression sent him into the Veterans Counseling Program at Community Services. For 4 decades, there has been one steady force dedicated to this program: Tom Bennett, former Air Force medic and the counselor in charge.
I started in 1984 doing that, and I've been working with veterans ever since. That has really given a lot of meaning to my life. In that I've been able to give back, not only to this community, but back to my fellow veterans who I was working with way back in the day, back in the 60s, after the war.
He's an easy guy to talk to. You know, found out he was a vet, so he understands, you know, the things that we're going through. And after some time, he got me into the group, and which I found, like, you know, Tom said, was very full of Vietnam vets. I was the youngest guy in there, but those guys really welcomed me in. And I found out that what I was going through is nothing new, that it's the same thing they went through, the same thing Korean vets went through, same thing World War II vets went through. And you just feel so safe in there. You can talk absolutely about anything.
Navy SEAL Tom Rancich also found his way into Tom Bennett's group.
He basically in a very, very kind fashion said, look, you know, you're a deep sea diver, that wasn't dangerous enough. You were a bomb squad guy, that wasn't dangerous enough. You went into the SEAL teams, you've been in helicopter crashes, you've seen combat on 3 different continents. You know, you think and then you retire here on to Martha's Vineyard. Do you think maybe you might need to talk to somebody about that?
While waiting for his disability rating from the Veterans Administration, Jared and his family fell behind in their mortgage payments. He turned to the group for moral support, but got a little more than he bargained for.
I was approached by Tom outside, and he said, hey, listen, you know, if you need help, this isn't charity. You know, if you need a hand, I'm not going to see a fellow vet, you know, and his family get put out of their home.
You know, and in the SEAL teams, we never have left a man behind. And I wasn't about to leave Jarrett behind when we had the wherewithal to give him a bridge loan and help him over the hump.
They wanted to put out there publicly what they're doing so that other veterans can see that it's okay to ask for help. And that's why I think it's such a tremendous thing that they did. It took real courage.
Tom's $5,000 loan to Jared is a powerful example of the island's community spirit.
But that's the great thing about this community, you know? Once something gets out in this community, everybody comes out of the woodwork, you know, trying to help, you know, it's a good feeling, but at the same time, I find that I'm going to be spending probably the rest of my life doing volunteer work, you know, because karma. Karma.
Another service in the Island Counseling Center is the New Paths Recovery Program, run by Jill De La Hunt.
It's a program that serves people with severe and often recurring bouts of addiction. Put about 20 people in a room, and give them all the same sort of set of substances. About 2 of those people will have the potential to someday end up in the New Paths program. This program is here to help people begin to weave intensive recovery into their lives without needing to leave the island.
When I came into New Paths, I was totally defeated. You know, by coming here, it gave me a new look on life and showed me that I could stay clean a day at a time and gave me the tools for it. So I'm very grateful to New Paths.
I'm extremely proud of what I've accomplished so far. And I know that it would have been a lot more difficult without New Paths.
Debbie Milne has been involved with early childhood programs for 30 years.
The early childhood programs basically supports the growth and development of children and families, and has done so for 50 years through the work of 3 programs. The first program is the Child Care Center, and we support working parents by providing full-day, year-round care in 4 classrooms. We serve infants through preschool.
Would you like to write on the table?
Head Start is a national program that promotes school readiness, and it works with families through education, health, social services, and nutrition, and works with the entire family.
Cut the grapes in half?
Yes, I know what half.
Okay. Show us what happened.
It has been great. It's a home-based kind of preschool where you have a home visitor once a week. We do socializations where we go on field trips, and it has been amazing, just things that you would never expect.
Thank you.
Carol Brown and her son Giovanni also benefited from Head Start's health screenings.
If it wasn't for Head Start, I would not know that my child needed glasses.
Hi, Giovanni.
The third large program is the Family Center, which supports families from birth to 14.
A fishing lure?
Connect to End Violence provides 24-hour medical and legal assistance to survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault.
We do crisis intervention, court advocacy, counseling, and referral services as well. Community services helps people in all walks of life and people who have gone through all kinds of different, turmoils in their life, and it helps people to recover and to get back on their feet.
Disability Services provides family assistance and employment support for such clients as Kathy Campbell and her son Alexander. In 1989, while traveling in Mexico, the Campbell family car was hit by a drunk driver. Alexander's father and brother died, and he suffered a serious brain injury. Since Kathy moved to the Vineyard, Alexander has found comfort at Community Services. He has also discovered his desire to draw and paint. He sees his guardian angels as his muse.
I drew them all by hand for a day and colored them. And then I'd go outside of my house, right out front of my house, and I'd sell them like I was selling lemonade. I would sell them for $1 a card, and then some people would just come by and tell me I should bump my prices up. And other times people would come by and just throw money out the window, which was always nice. And then I bumped my prices up to $2 a card.
Alexander Campbell's cards are now on sale in Island shops. On the back of his card, he briefly tells his story and adds that 5% of all proceeds go to Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Through Community Services, we've been able to facilitate the most growth in him and have opportunities available that otherwise wouldn't have been, and people who are very supportive, very caring, and want the best for him.
The Daybreak Clubhouse is also covered by Disability Services. Here, meaningful work and friendships are offered adults coping with mental illness. Here, in a safe and supportive environment, members develop skills for personal growth and health. Some have become involved in setting up a greenhouse and learning how to be nurturing gardeners.
This is their second year with a greenhouse coming up.
The Fifth Corps program is nearly the oldest and most well-known. The thrift shop, begun in 1962, has become one of the lifelines for community services. Selling donated clothing and household items at cut-rate prices, it has raised significant funds to support these other programs. Located in Chicken Alley in Vineyard Haven, the shop serves as a marketplace, a social center, and sometimes even an art gallery. Manager Sandy Pratt has been connected to the shop for 4 decades.
We have many people that come in every day, and a lot of them come here because they need some place to go. They're elderly, they live alone, they're disabled, they live alone, and if they know if they come here, somebody's going to ask them how they are. Somebody's going to say, do you need anything? They're going to ask about their grandchildren. So it functions as a social outlet for a lot of people.
In 1979, Community Services created Possible Dreams, an annual auction to help raise needed capital. The auction itself has become more than a tradition. It's a necessity. For 25 years, the man with the gavel was humorist Art Buchwald. His indomitable spirit worked wonders and helped keep Community Services afloat. He is no longer with us, but artist Joanne Metler has generously offered a keepsake. Her amusing and artful version of art will soon find a home at Community Services. It's up to the rest of us to keep his spirit alive and the funding coming to make the dreams possible.
I've watched this organization for a long time through many generations, and I think that is the thing that is most important about it, the consistency. It has been there for this island for many years.
We care for those who need other people to care for them in order to lead fulfilling, rich lives. And quite frankly, that includes almost everybody. As a community, we need each other.
There is nowhere that's paradise that doesn't have issues, and there's no family that doesn't have issues.
I think community services is there for every island family at some point in their lives.
Thanks to the generosity of all of you out there, we make it happen by hook or by crook every year.
We really, really do need to raise money in order to be able to be around for the next 50 years.
You're hearing the top hit of 1961, the year Martha's Vineyard Community Services began.
And the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And all